How you guys doing? Eric here. Today is Saturday, July 7th, 2018. Warm summer day up here in Gilpin County. It's like 9:30 in the morning. I think it's already getting close to 80 degrees, so that's really warm up here. We hardly ever get up to 80 degrees. So yeah, it's really feeling like summer this weekend. Yesterday I talked to my sister and she finally called me. I haven't been talking to her in a while, man. But yeah, her son just graduated from high school, her youngest son, and so yeah, she's telling me he's thinking about going into the police academy and becoming a cop. I'm like, holy, you gotta be kidding me, man. I can't believe my nephew wants to become a cop, man. You know, especially his father was in a lot of trouble. He was kind of a criminal. You know, his father did a lot of time in the joint, and that's kind of interesting. Hopefully he'll grow out of that, man, and come to his senses. But you know, whatever, he's gonna do what he's gonna want to do, right? You know, there's nothing, he becomes a cop, well, sell your soul, son. Anyways, yeah, he just graduated from high school, so you know, talking about school, right? I was kind of you know, the whole talking to my partner last week, and you know, we were talking a little bit about Sigil magic. You know, it's a very interesting subject to me. You know, it's basically, you know, any kind of symbol or something that you put power behind it and meaning to it, and then it becomes a form of magic. Basically, that's what our language is. You know, it's a form of sigil magic. Each letter in the alphabet is a sigil. You know, and we're forced to go as a young child into the system, you know, into the school, and they force us to learn this code, this alphabet, you know. And yeah, it's talking about how it's basically when you make a word, you spell, you know, it's a spell a word, a spelling test. You know, you're learning to cast spells in this sigil magic called language. You know, and it's really interesting to me, because you know, it's going into why would they want us to learn this language? You know, why would they force this language on us? You know, because you know, I've learned that language is kind of a limited thing. You know, it's not a perfect thing. It's, you know, that there was a time before, maybe, you know, I don't even know if this is true or not. Maybe we never really were a wild species. We were always meant to be slaves and created as slaves. But perhaps there was a time before when humans didn't have any written or spoken language, and they were able to communicate, you know, like telepathically. Their third eye, the pineal gland was wide open, because it wasn't all calcified with all the chemicals and shit they give us now to shut it down. So yeah, you know, there was a time maybe when they communicated without language, and a more perfect form of communication, where they could really, you know, convey their thoughts to each other in perfect, 100% perfectly, without the limitation of language, you know. Because we all struggle with language, you know, to communicate with each other. Like when I make these videos, you know, I got ideas in my head, thoughts that I want to get into the video, you know, that I want to get out that I'm trying to convey to my viewers, you know, and language gets in the way, you know. It's not a perfect form, so it's limited us, you know. So, but also it gives the controllers of the world, they force everybody to learn their code and their language, and they use it to control everybody. Without language, they wouldn't be able to control us. There would be no laws. That's the whole thing I'm getting at, is that, you know, they force the language on the people, force us all to learn the language of our country, so that we will understand the laws, that we will stand under their laws, and ignorance of the law is no excuse. So yeah, I find that so interesting, man. You know, that, you know, how you know, this idea that language is imperfect, and that there was a time when we communicated much better. You know, like I communicate with my dog. I'm sure he understands a lot of words that I say, but you know, I understand a lot of things he's saying too. That like he'll come up to me, give me a certain growl when he's hungry, or he'll bark at me, or you know, he'll bark at the door when he wants in. So he has a way of making me understand what he needs, you know, without an official language. Well, him and I have our own language with each other. There you go. Like when I want him to come, I whistle. There he is. So that's not a spoken language, but or a written language, but we both understand it. Like dogs have different barks that mean different things. You know, like one bark might mean, hey, how you doing? One might be, there's a stranger out there, stranger danger, you know. And so yeah, so there's ways of communicating without language. You know, even humans do it. Body language, facial gestures, you know, we can communicate. And I think we still do have the ability to a certain extent, a telepathic communication, but you know, it's really limited because they take such care to shut down our third eye, our pineal gland, calcify it with fluoride and other chemicals, so that basically what they want to do is they want to keep us trapped, totally trapped into the physical reality, and never even thinking about that there's anything else, you know, that all there is this fucking physical reality, that their language is all that there is. It's the only way we have to communicate is using their fucking sigil magic, and which is used to write down all the laws of the land so that we can all understand how we are their slaves. Basically, it's pretty fucking interesting shit. So yeah, you know, they got all these people that write down these laws, and it's okay because, you know, and whatever they do to us is okay because we supposedly elected them into position. So therefore, whatever they do to us, we consented to. So they can make whatever laws they want, and they have the right to rule over us with those laws. So yeah, that's why it's so important that they keep this illusion, this delusion of a democracy that, you know, the people, the whole government is, they say is, you know, properly elected by the people, officially, you know, even though the elections are all rigged, no one gets into the government unless they're part of the fucking program. And so they keep this delusion of a democracy of the people, that so that they want us to believe that we really have the power and vote for these people, so therefore they can make any law on us. But it's all bullshit. The government's all phony, it's all rigged, but they got to keep the delusion. As long as 51% of the people believe in it, that in the delusion of democracy, then they have all the power to do whatever they want to us. Yeah, it's quite interesting how it all works, man. How they, you know, claim to have this right, this consent of the people because we voted for them, even though the elections are all rigged, and it's all. But it's very important that they keep that delusion over the people. That's really the main point I'm trying to make, is that this, you know, they gotta keep that delusion that basically that the people are doing it to themselves, that all the laws are passed by the people, for the people, of the people, even though our whole democracy is a big sham, and it's all just fucking foisted on us beyond our fucking will. But as long as they have this delusion of the consent of the people, you know, they can continue to fucking rule over us. It's mind-boggling, really. But yeah, anyways, back to the education part of the whole thing is, you know, we're forced to go to school from the time we can actually fucking think, you know, like from the time we're like 5 years old, forced to go and learn their code, you know, 12 years of fucking our whole childhood spent in a fucking classroom, you know, being fucking programmed and indoctrinated by the state and convinced how much, you know, how stupid we are without their education, when obviously the opposite is true. You know, they always equate intelligence with education, when really education just fucking dumbs you down. So, you know, that whole bullshit fucking myth that education is intelligence is fucking the opposite. Education is fucking ignorance, in my opinion. So yeah, they say 12 years of brainwashing, indoctrination into that shit forced on you. I call it a fucking 12-year prison sentence, the education that we all receive. Even though, you know, my greatest achievement in my life, the thing that I'm most proud of, is that I was able to fucking miss a whole bunch of school growing up because I came from like a divorced kind of single parent home. I was able to get away with a lot of shit, and I did. And my even most proudest fucking achievement was able to drop out of school in the 10th grade. You know, a lot of people would say, oh, you're a fucking loser, you didn't finish high school. I think I'm proud of it, man. I'm fucking goddamn proud to be a high school dropout. Trust me, man, it would have been a lot easier for me to stay in school and finish high school, but you know what? I was determined, man. My older brother dropped out. I'll be goddamned if I'm not gonna drop out too. Yep, that whole fucking indoctrination that you, and then they want you to believe, oh, you're nothing unless you get a college education in this world. You will never amount to anything. You know, look at me, I'm a fucking carpenter, so yeah, true. I could have probably been something better if I went to college, but you know what? I still, you know, I can still function in this society without a fucking high school diploma. But, you know, and then they this whole bullshit that you're nothing without a college, you know, they want, you know, force a lot of people or brainwash a lot of people into, you know, going into huge debt for a college, you know, education. Then they get out and they're like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt when they start off in life, and they don't even have a job yet. A lot of them can't even find a job, but that debt will never go away. They, you know, it used to be no big deal, college debt. Now they're fucking throwing people in prison over it. So yeah, just a little interesting topic this morning about how sigil magic rules our whole society. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon.